Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the quiet voice inside your head, the one that keeps whispering, "Not good enough, not there yet, something is wrong with me," has been running your life without your permission. Tara Brach begins radical acceptance by inviting the reader into this uncomfortable but deeply human realization. The book opens with a powerful observation. Most of us live in a constant state of inner war. We are either trying to fix ourselves, improve ourselves, distract ourselves, or outrun a feeling of unworthiness that never quite goes away. This sense of being flawed or deficient is so normalized that we barely notice it. Yet, according to Brach, this belief is the root of much of our suffering. She introduces the idea that modern culture quietly conditions us to feel unworthy. We are told, explicitly and implicitly, that we are valuable only when we are productive, attractive, successful, calm, generous, or spiritually evolved. The moment we fall short of these ideals, we turn against ourselves. Brach calls this state the trance of unworthiness. It is a trance because it feels real, convincing, and inescapable while we are in it. We believe our thoughts about ourselves without question, and we organize our lives around avoiding shame and proving our worth. As the book unfolds, Brach explains that this trance doesn't just live in our thoughts, it lives in our bodies. Tight shoulders, shallow breathing, clenched jaws, constant anxiety. These are not random sensations but physical manifestations of emotional resistance. We resist fear, sadness, anger, and vulnerability because we believe they signal something wrong with us. Instead of allowing these emotions to move through us, we suppress them, judge them, or numb them with food, work, relationships, or distraction. The turning point of the book arrives with the introduction of radical acceptance itself. Radical acceptance means a complete, wholehearted acceptance of our experience in this moment, exactly as it is. Not approval. Not resignation. Not giving up on growth. But a deep acknowledgement that whatever is happening right now, pleasant or painful, belongs. Brach emphasizes that acceptance is radical because it goes against our habitual conditioning. We have been taught to resist pain, control emotions, and fix ourselves. Radical acceptance asks us to do the opposite, to pause, soften, and allow. Brach shares stories from her own life to show how difficult and transformative this practice can be. She speaks honestly about her struggles with disordered eating, self-judgment, and the relentless inner critic. These personal moments ground the teachings in lived experience rather than abstract philosophy. The reader begins to see that radical acceptance is not about achieving a permanent state of peace, but about meeting life with honesty and compassion, again and again. As the narrative progresses, Brach introduces mindfulness as a core doorway to acceptance. Mindfulness, as she describes it, is the capacity to pay attention to our experience without judgment. It is the skill of observing thoughts as thoughts, emotions as emotions, and sensations as sensations, rather than as definitions of who we are. Through mindfulness, we begin to notice how quickly we tighten around discomfort and how reflexively we try to escape it. One of the most striking ideas in the book is that what we resist persists. When we push away fear, it grows stronger. When we deny grief, it hardens into numbness. When we suppress anger, it leaks out in passive aggression or self-blame. Brach explains that emotions are not problems to be solved, but messages to be listened to. When we allow ourselves to feel fully, emotions naturally rise, peak, and dissolve. The book then moves into the second essential wing of radical acceptance: compassion. Mindfulness allows us to see clearly. Compassion allows us to hold what we see with kindness. Brach describes compassion not as a sentimental feeling but as a courageous willingness to stay present with suffering, our own and others, without turning away. Self-compassion, she argues, is not selfish or indulgent. It is necessary for healing. She introduces the powerful practice of saying yes to our experience. This simple word becomes a radical act. Saying yes to fear does not mean we like it, it means we stop fighting its existence. Saying yes to sadness does not mean we drown in it, it means we let it be felt. Over time, this yes softens the inner battlefield and creates space for wisdom to emerge. Brach also explores how radical acceptance transforms our relationships. When we are at war with ourselves, we unconsciously project that war onto others. We judge, compare, defend, and control because we are afraid of being seen as inadequate. As self-acceptance deepens, we become more available, authentic, and compassionate in our connections. We listen more deeply. We react less defensively. We allow others to be imperfect because we no longer need perfection to feel safe. A significant portion of the book is devoted to healing fear. Brach explains that fear often arises from the belief that something bad is about to happen and we won't be able to handle it. Radical acceptance teaches us to meet fear at the level of the body. Instead of spinning stories about the future, we bring attention to the raw sensations of fear, tightness, heat, trembling, and offer them kindness. When fear is met with presence rather than resistance, it loses its grip. Another profound theme is forgiveness. Brach challenges the idea that forgiveness is something we offer only after someone has changed or apologized. True forgiveness, she suggests, arises naturally from understanding and compassion. When we see how deeply conditioned people are by fear and pain, our hearts soften. This does not excuse harmful behavior, but it frees us from the prison of resentment. As the book nears its later chapters, Brach expands the lens from personal healing to spiritual awakening. Radical acceptance, she explains, is not just a psychological tool, it is a spiritual path. When we stop identifying with our limiting stories and open to the fullness of our experience, we begin to sense a deeper truth of who we are. Beneath our thoughts, emotions, and roles lies a vast, loving awareness that is never broken. She describes moments of presence when the sense of a separate self dissolves and we feel connected to life itself. These moments are not extraordinary experiences reserved for monks or mystics. They are available in ordinary moments, watching the breath, listening to rain, holding a child, or sitting quietly with pain. Radical acceptance opens the door to these moments by removing the barriers of judgment and resistance. In the final movement of the book, Brach returns to everyday life. She acknowledges that we will forget, react, judge, and resist again and again. The practice is not about perfection but about remembering. Each time we notice that we have left ourselves, we can gently return. Each moment of awareness is a new beginning. The conclusion of radical acceptance feels like a quiet but powerful homecoming. Brach reminds the reader that the longing to feel whole, worthy, and at peace is not a flaw, it is a sign of our deepest truth. We are not broken beings trying to become whole, we are whole beings who have forgotten our nature. Radical acceptance is the remembering. By learning to say yes to life as it is, we stop waiting for permission to be happy. We stop postponing love until we are better, calmer, or more accomplished. We discover that freedom is not found in changing ourselves, but in meeting ourselves with unwavering presence and compassion. And in that meeting, something extraordinary happens. The struggle softens, the heart opens, and we begin to live from a place of genuine aliveness and peace.